All you, my friend.
Well, good morning. Good morning. It's so good to see everyone. I miss our morning calls, and some of the calls, guys, I jump in and you don't know I'm there a lot of the times, but I miss our people. I mean, I really look forward to seeing everyone. Honestly, it's showing up, when we have those mornings where we're like, oh, what are we going to do today? Just jump on a call and then boom, you'll get some things registered on what to do, right? Some huge wins this week. I want to share with you guys some huge wins just from showing up, right? So I showed up at the door of this company called EXP, and we had this amazing opportunity of the stock to go crazy high and then split, and then it kind of dropped a little bit. And then look at in the last 2 weeks, it went up $15, $14 to $15. I've gotten 3 messages this week. And here's what it said. Tom, because you told me to show up at a meeting with you, I have $80,000 in my my stock account, and I didn't even know it. Thank you. Another one, Tom, I got 145,000 in my stock account, and you have no idea what you've done for me. And all I did was ask them to show up, right? Show up. So those were huge wins. Wins where we were with a company that's actually, where we can make an investment and see it grow. Right now, there's going to be probably some ups and downs, but that's a huge win, guys. You are with one of the most amazing companies with the best model that is most agent centric to help you grow. Here's what you need to do. You just need to show up. You need to show up. You need to show up at every event. Now, I'm not telling you to go to everything, but do whatever you can do to show up. I showed up at Build. Yeah, I got an opportunity to speak, and boy, that was amazing. But I showed up and I didn't have any of you there. Guess what I had to do? You think I'm going to go stand in a corner? I can't shut up when I show up. So I engaged with so many great people. And by the way, if you look at a person, you can't judge them. I sat with this couple. By the way, they do 90 million in Indiana, and they do another 50 million in Florida. So you just show up and you learn from these people. So I thought this would be a great thing to speak about. I put something on my page the other day. Humility is a gift. Humility is a gift. And so the stories I heard about people showing up, joining this company from poverty, from giving the keys to their mom or their dad for a home because they never had anything, from being humble enough to say, hey, we were in a verge of bankruptcy, foreclosure, and we had nothing, but we showed up and we kept being resilient and we kept doing the things that we needed to do, right? So that was pretty amazing too. They didn't give up and they showed up. I think our world, I think our real estate mindset for majority of people today is, what's the easy button and give me leads because I'm entitled. And also, I'm not paying you a 25% referral. The norm is maybe 20. Can I give you 15? And by the way, that's not a price point I'm going to work. Oh my gosh, I got too many excuses, guys. There was an 18-year-old young man with EXP for 2 weeks in that room. So I said to him, his name was Rowe, R-O-W-E. I said, Rowe, you're 18, you just graduated high school, and you've been with EXP for 2 weeks. Tell me your experience. He goes, well, I made 1,900 dials in 2 weeks. I said, I got goosebumps. I was like, are you kidding me? He goes, yeah. I was told that I had to keep dialing until I got appointments. I said, well, how many appointments did you get? He goes, I got 7. I said, you got 7 appointments in 2 weeks? He goes, yeah. He goes, we're getting ready to take a listing and we got 4 buyers ready that are already qualified. I said, how much work was 1,900 dials? He goes, it was miserable. He goes, I didn't even know what to say. I was told to do it, so I just did it. I was scared. I just showed up. 18 guys, 1,900 dials. Is there anybody on this Zoom that's done 1,900 dials in 2 weeks? Now that's not 1,900 conversations. That's 19 dials. What a dialer. Yeah, here you go, Liz. Steve Pugh, probably. I wouldn't put it past him. So then I said, Ro, what is your responsibility with this team that you're on? By the way, he's on a team and he gets 25% of his sales, not 50-50. He goes, well, my responsibility is to stay on the phones all day until I get an appointment. And I said, what if you don't get an appointment? He goes, no, that's not it's a standard. I gotta get an appointment. I'm not going home until I get an appointment. Because there's nothing I want more than to be successful in this business. And if this is what I have to do, I'm going to do it. There's not 18 years old. So show up. Are you showing up? So I put a post up the other day, the importance of showing up. This means physically, mentally, and emotionally. Bring in all of your focus to whatever you are doing. Showing up demonstrates commitment, reliability, and professionalism. Whether it's attending meetings, fulfilling client obligations, or being present in the workplace, showing up sends a powerful message about one's dedication to their work and the value they place on relationships and responsibilities. Are you showing up to trainings? Are you showing up to these calls? By consistently showing up, professionals build trust, credibility among their colleagues, their clients, and their partners. It conveys a sense of accountability, reliability, leading to stronger professional connections and increased opportunities for growth. See, when you show up and you meet the Ariels and you meet the Deeps and you meet the Liz's and you meet the Paul Sapersteins and the Balby Baldors, and you show up and you're in front of them and you're showing up and you're showing up, they're like, holy cow, if this person's struggling, I'm going to take them under my wing. Being physically and mentally present allows us to actively engage in discussions, contribute ideas, solve problems effectively, fostering a collaborative and productive work environment. Physically and mentally showing up, ultimately showing up consistently lays the foundation for success and paves the way for long-term achievements in the dynamic and competitive world of business. Guys, we're entering into a winter season. I would say fall. It's not winter. It's a fall season, and it literally is going into a fall season. How are you showing up? You know, I said this on stage, and I don't know how many people came up to me afterwards and said, "You're right." I don't even know why I said this, but I did, and I don't know if it was just a nervous moment or whatever. I said, "How you show up in your personal life when you look in the mirror and look at yourself is how you're going to show up in your business." So if you want to talk about how great of a successful, in an area of business, they're going to know whether or not you show up. They're going to know whether you're lying or telling the truth. I got a call the other day, Sunday. This was the first recruiting call I've ever received from another brokerage. Can you believe that? First one ever. Well, George Philbeck, but we knew each other, right? This was a total stranger I didn't know. Well, I knew his name because I follow numbers. His name's William. He says, "Hey, Tom, I want you to look at this company. I know it would be great for you. I hear a lot of great things about you." I said, "Fantastic." I said, "Tell me a little bit about your success." He goes, "I've grown 300% and it's been changed my life." I said, "Well, sounds very interesting. I'd love to hear more. Would you like to meet with me? And by the way, here's the conditions of the meeting. I need to share the value with EXP." He goes, "Absolutely not." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, you want to present something to me, I want to present something to you, but it only has to be one side. He said, absolutely. I know that company and there's nothing I would want to do to be there. And I said, well, tell me why. He just didn't engage. Number one, he didn't engage. Number two, he wasn't with the right people. Right. So I said, well, you haven't been with us. He goes, yeah. He goes, but I know who you are, Tom, and you do great for your people. I said, so, okay. So William, as I look at your production on my platform that I have called Market View Broker, I see that you're down about 65% in your production. Where are you up 300%? Can I help you? I'd love to sit with you and consult with you so you're not in a bad situation moving forward. He went silent. Be truthful when you show up. Be honest. Be honest. And by the way, humility is a gift. So what people don't know about you, be humble. When I remember in a meeting one time, this guy approached me and he said, Tom, you would never understand what it feels like to struggle. I said, well, let's sit down and talk about that. So he showed up in my office and he said, you'll never understand. I need, I blah, blah, blah. And he was very victim. He was a victim. I said, oh, okay. So did you ever have to go online to church for food? Did you have to go to the store with food stamps and go food shopping for your parents because they didn't want to use the food stamps? Did you live in a different home every single year because you got evicted every year because your parents didn't pay the rent? And by the way, your dad's doing life in prison and you got a single mom. Did you do that? Did you have holes in your shoes when you were trying to go to school with cardboard on the bottom? No. Okay. So I'm sure you deal with things too. So do I. So do I. So never, ever try to look at someone and go, they can do that because that's what they have. No, they showed up. They showed up. They did the damn work. And by the way, I will tell you that most of the most successful people that I've met with and that I meet don't have that financial direction in their life from their siblings or their parents. Most of them are self-driven. Look at Ed Milet. Look at Grant Cardone. Look at Tony Robbins. Some of the biggest influencers and coaches in the world. They showed up and they worked their asses off. Tony Robbins tells a story about the landlord showing up with a turkey dinner for the family for Thanksgiving because the dad couldn't even afford to get it because he was lazy and wasn't get out there and work and provide for his family. Tony's dad slams the door on him and the guy's put his arm in there and got his arms shut in the door. It said, this isn't for you. This isn't for you. This is for your children and your family. This man showed up. Tony started working for a company and he showed up, and he didn't even know what he was doing. He took action when he showed up. Number one, stop trying to figure everything out and be this master professional that knows everything. Guys, I will tell you right now, Fred doesn't know everything. Tom doesn't know everything. Debbie doesn't know everything. We've been on, I bet between the three of us with our tenure over 130 years probably, we haven't mastered certain things. Or probably anything for me. It takes work. I got to keep showing up. I'm not too proud to say I'm not going to do script and role play because that's embarrassing. Weird people make big money. If you want to be cool, stay in the back of the room and be that phony because that's what the cool is, right? If you show up, be present, be willing to learn from everyone you talk to, whether they're not as successful financially as you or not, you will learn something that'll help you grow from them. So keep showing up. I see you guys on these calls showing up. Now there's calls you may not get anything out of, but there's calls that you may get a ton out of. I don't think I cried as much in one day as I did the very first day. I had tears in my eyes the whole time. You walk out and everybody's got napkins touching their eyes. 4 different presenters that spoke put tears on everybody's eyes. And here's how they did it. One young man, his dad abandoned their family. And a single mom, barely making it, never owned a home. He works his tail off and he calls his mom over to a particular home. And she goes, "Oh, this is really nice." He goes, "Yeah, here's the keys." You know, showing up is important. So humility is a gift. I can tell you many stories that I showed up every day when things were not good. When we were in line at church in 2007 for food, no gas in the car, nothing, guys. We went broke. We had everything. We went completely broke. We didn't lose our home, thank God. We made our last mortgage payment. So I sat back and I said, don't be a victim. You listen, when you get knocked down and you can analyze and figure out what it took to put you down, show up and fight and keep moving forward. Stop making excuses. Stop, being a victim. Stop saying, "Oh, they don't give me leads." Just grind. I had no idea what to do. I had to learn something new. I had to pivot. Stop talking about interest rates. Stop talking about the other realtors, too many realtors. Stop, show up and do your damn job, and you have nothing to worry about. It took me to go broke to wake the heck up and move forward again and get back to where we needed to be quickly. I could have got out of the business. I could have went into another field, but here's what I knew. My son gave us the money that, by the way, he was, what was he, 13? He had a piggy bank because he cut lawns and he had like $800 or $900 in there. He goes, "Dad, here's this money. We need food and gas." And he goes, "Don't worry about paying me back. Show up regardless of the circumstances and trust the process." I knew what I had to do. I had to figure it out because the market pivoted. By the way, guys, the market stopped. There was hardly any buyers and you couldn't sell homes because the homes were worth the homes had a $400,000 mortgage and they were worth 200,000. So you had to do a short sale and it took about 6, 7, 8 months to sell. You guys are in an amazing position and opportunity. If you show up, get off your butt, get out there and do the work. Now, I heard many stories. GoGo does a lot. She's only made $2.7 million last year. Oh, she's GoGo. Oh, yeah. The lady came from Sweden completely broke and had a rough childhood. I don't know if she might be in her 30s, if that. I don't know. Oh, Kirsta Mayshore, she makes like $15 million a year because she's Kirsta. Yeah, well, you know what? She was in foster care and she was abused. Here's the thing. She showed up and she's not a victim. And, oh, well, that's what they do. YouTube. If you can do YouTube and that's your thing, go do it. That's not my thing. I'm trying, but it's not my thing. So it's not my number one thing. My number one thing is I'll make dials like that young man Rowe and make things happen. But I'm not going to sit back and blame the world or blame Steve Pugh because he doesn't give me a qualified lead, or I'm on a team and I got to give them 50%. Just get up, show up, and do your damn job. And if you don't want to be on a team, get off the team and go do it on your own. See how that works out. Might work out great. It might not. Be thankful for what you got, and that's your health. Chuck said something that was really resonated with me. He goes, everyone wants to be a multimillionaire. Everyone thrives to be a millionaire or a multimillionaire, but they don't show up. So if I said, hey, show up, I'm going to give you $10 million, but this is your very last day. You will die tomorrow morning. Who's going to trade that? I'm not going to trade it. The biggest gift we have is life and breath, and we still don't show up. You have the gift to get up every single morning. So do something with it. Show up, get out there. Make a difference for yourself, make a difference for your family, make a difference for the consumer, and take you out of the equation. And then your life will be so much better. So that's my thing. I got a little emotional because I was thinking about the young man that gave the keys to his mom. And all I can remember is my mom always struggled so much. The littlest things that we've ever done for my mom, getting her a car, helping her with things, the impact that you can make by just being able to show up in one area to help others in another area. The biggest gift in life that I feel is when a friend of mine, he's not even a friend of mine, he's got 3 kids, and his wife left, and he had no money, and my daughter and my son and I bring him a Christmas tree and dinner for Christmas. Makes a difference. We were able to do that because we had financial means to do it. But show up. By the way, by doing that, I can't tell you how many referrals and stuff we've gotten from Sean. He bounced back, and that man never forgot. So who are you showing up for? Is it yourself? Is it your family? Is it for others? So show up. That's what I got. Let's interact, guys. What were your ahas? What did you get out of it? Thank you, Liz. Brian, mindset is everything. Skill set, mindset, and habits. I talk about that often. The consistency of everything, and I'm going to do a build recap with some people next week, and we'll figure that date out. But the consistency I heard, by the way, we sat with Glenn Sanford and Michael Valdez for breakfast Wednesday morning. And the number one question was, what do you guys see for the company in the future based on the market conditions? And here's what he said. He said, this is our biggest opportunity because our platform is the best for the agents and the smaller brokerages and the bigger brokerages to relieve themselves of financial issues, release themselves of financial obligations, release themselves of liability. This is the best platform for where we're heading. So show up, keep moving forward. And the consistency I did hear there was Chad, he sold 1,600 homes last year with his team. I said, what are you doing differently this year, Chad, to consistently keep your sales in track? He goes, Tom, last year, I didn't make any phone calls on the team. This year, I make phone calls every day with the team. I said, but Chad, you're making millions of dollars every year. He goes, I'm no better than them. I'm doing the activities too, because we have to lead by example. So I show up and I don't just collect the checks from them. So show up, be present, be a gift. You are a gift. And I'll tell you, life is a blessing. Don't let it go by without doing what's good for you. So Liz.
Tom, thank you so much. You brought tears to my eyes. You are just one of the
I did that
most
on purpose, by the way. I made that up just to do that for you.
Oh, just to me, right? No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
no.
But I love where you brought up, I think one of the biggest ahas for me, and I always talk about this, is trusting the process, right? A lot of us get impatient because we want now results, but not understanding that we appreciate the goal more when we go through the process and as we're struggling through the process. So a lot of people, we all want now, of course, we want instant gratification, and I talk to my team about this. I'm like, guys, trust the process. Like it works, but you have to fall in love with the process, right? So that's just one of the things that I want to reiterate, guys. Like if you're showing up and you're doing what you need to do every single day, I can assure you, you will be successful, but you have to stay consistent and you have to show up. So thank you, Tom, for bringing that up. That is just, I always get some great nuggets from these calls. So thank you.
Awesome. I know it got a little bit emotional on here, but guys, here's the thing. It's not you got to show up. There was a quote up there, and I never heard this one before by Babe Ruth. The quote was, I was always okay getting up to bat and striking out because I was that much closer to the next home run. That's what he said. I was like, holy cow, he showed up, got up the bat, struck out, and he was like, okay, I'm that much closer to my next home run. Debbie.
A couple things I was thinking about while you're talking, as leadership, Tom, you, me, Curtis, every leader that we've been in business with, we've had thousands of hours of discussion about what causes agents to not engage or to not take action, right? And I think it really comes down to, it's a mindset thing. And here's the mindset thing. 98% of us have been employees up and until becoming a real estate agent. And as a real estate agent, we miss the fact that we're the CEO of our company. So if you were to remove yourself, if you were to pretend that you were the CEO looking at your business, you're not you. You are the leader of your organization and you're looking at the business. The CEO's job is to figure it out, to figure out what the gaps are and to find the solution and to ask the millionth question to find the answer. And I have a perfect example that I looked at this week. So I have 2 recruits that are not with EXP yet, but they're with my previous brokerage. And I've talked to them, right, and had conversations. The last year's market was incredible to them. One of them came from a very wealthy family. And last year he did 50 million in production, mostly $5 million homes as a single agent, no assistant, 50 million in production. Now the guy's a hustler, but he had strong relationships and 90% of his sales came from his relationships with his family. The other recruit did 45 million in production, but he's a phone animal. He's a phone dialer, right? Now, last year, if you're calling expireds and for sale by owners, there weren't any. There weren't any because things sold so quickly, nothing expired. There were some, there weren't zero, but there was nothing. But the guy was a phone animal, right? 45 million. This year, the client, the agent that had the relationships, who by the way is also a phone animal, but didn't practice last year. Year to date, he's got 5 million in production. Last year it was 50 million. I know he's got 5 million in production because he's now being a phone animal. The other agent is only down 10%. He's only down 10% because he didn't stop making calls last year when the business was great and he was in the groove when the market changed. Here is the only thing you need to know to be successful in real estate. Your job is to figure out how to get yourself to do it. The person that makes 1,900 calls in 2 weeks, the person that makes 20 calls, conversations, 10 to 20 conversations a day, 10 to 20 conversations a day, come hell or high water. You can knock on doors. You can call people you know. You can show up at a networking event. You can call expireds. You can call, whatever it is. If you have 10 to 20 conversations a day about real estate, 10 to 20 conversations a day about real estate, that's it. That's it. That's it. Now, what do you say? How do you say it? Well, your job is to get better at that. Who are you going to talk to? It is not rocket science. It really isn't. You can, with a bad script, I recruited a 19-year-old agent. He tried to join the most successful team in my office, and the team lead was a little bit rude and said, "Get out of here, kid. Go knock 250 doors and come back. Tell me you knocked 250 doors, and then we'll talk about whether you can join my team." The kid came back with a listing. Didn't have a script. Day one, day two of being, didn't know what to say. Nobody prepped him. And he was 19, but he looked 12. He could say, "Oh, well, I'm young. No one will ever breathe. I'm a real estate agent." No. He did it, and he came back one day, 250 doors, came back, and he says, "Someone wants to sell their house. I don't know how to do a listing." So he would join the team. So the reality is this business is very, very simple. You've got to figure out how to have 10 to 20 conversations about real estate, and you have to do it every day. And if you do that, you'll be a millionaire. You'll be a millionaire, because millionaires don't do any more than that. They just have more people. They don't do anything different. It's the consistent conversations. Now, if you're not making calls every day, if you wake up every day, say, "I'm going to make calls," and then you don't, then you probably need a coach. You need someone to help you get into action. But if you want to I had a friend that moved to the area who'd never been in real estate before. She did 5 open houses a week because she didn't know anybody. And that was the way she got her conversations. She would door knock the neighborhoods. She would do 5. She would do one on Wednesday night, Thursday night, 2 Friday night, Saturday night, and Saturday and Sunday. That's the way she got her conversations in. There are so many ways that you can do that. But the problem is we have employee mindset, or we don't want to do it because we feel uncomfortable. And we then don't seek support or an ally to say, "Hey, I feel uncomfortable making calls. I need help. I need help because I'm not doing the work." And your job as the CEO is to figure out what's stopping you from doing what you know you need to do, and then do it. That's your job. So if you're not doing it, you need to get someone to help you to figure out how to overcome those beliefs, restrictions, and not taking action. "Well, I feel uncomfortable." Okay, guess what? Everybody feels uncomfortable, but do it anyways, right? And it really is the shift between the CEO mindset of, "I've got to figure out this problem. It's my job to figure out why I'm not making my calls. And I'm not going to stop until I figure out how to make them," because that is the one driver for the whole business. Whole business.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Deb. Fred, hold on one second. I put some links in the chat box for you guys. The first link that I put in is the slides from the Build event. If you guys want to look at some of those slides, there's some great content there. Mike Sherrod put his whole format of how to build a massive business through YouTube. He gave you the scripts. He gave you the whole platform. Take a look at those slides. Also, I put another link in there that's exprealty.workplace. Become a member of EXP Family Tree there. There's lots of great content and training. And then the last link that I put in there is I'm doing a class on Tuesday at 4 o'clock, how to build a listing inventory. I'm not going to talk about you. Listen, if you want to know how to get buyers, go get listings. I'm not here to tell you how to go get a buyer. I'm here to tell you how to go build a business. So at 4 o'clock, invite realtor guests, invite people that are thinking about getting in the business. I'm going to really dig in on how to grow a listing inventory on Tuesday, 4 o'clock. Leverage me to help you bring other agents in. Just give them the link and have them show up, and we'll go from there. That's your thing. I'm not going to be talking about recruiting on this call. It's all about building listing inventory. Fred.
Tom, I only see one link in there, just so you know. You may have thought you posted them, but maybe you joined them together. There's one link.
No, there's
the one link at the bottom. If you go up to the time.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. The two were a little previous. They're a little earlier. So. All right. Thanks for bringing that up so they can see it. You just got to scroll. Fred, go ahead, bud. I'm sorry.
Tommy, you made one mistake this morning. You said I don't know everything.
No, you do. No,
the first time I've heard you made a mistake. Hey, listen, you're absolutely right, man. Look, you're green and you're growing, or you're ripe and you're rotting. Matter of fact, if you're really a wise person, anybody you meet that's older and they think they know something, don't pay attention to them, because the older you get, and I don't want to use the cliche, the older you get, the less you know, blah, 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 blah. But I'm telling you folks, I didn't get the real deep stuff until I was 61, 62 years old. And it's not about knowing. That's what's holding you back, is that you think you got to know something. You don't have to know anything. I became a multi-millionaire because I knew an awful lot and I worked really, really hard. But because I couldn't see, I had to go start all over again. All right. So it's not about knowing anything. It's about seeing. It's about vision for your life. Where there's no vision, you perish. So that's number one. Number two, this idea about showing up. Yesterday, Ryan Serhant. Do you know who Ryan Serhant is? Any of it? He just opened an office in our area. So they had a kickoff. How many people you think showed up? They were expecting 75 people. How many people you think showed up? Take a guess.
A couple hundred.
200. The room, it was set for 200. People couldn't get in. They had a parking problem. Why? Because people are looking for the magic sauce. Now, is Ryan Serhant a star? Absolutely. Is he a celebrity? Absolutely. First time I ever got to meet him. So he was a star, but how many people are licking their chops because, you know, he's got this and great guy. But the thing is that a lot of people, you know, we show up when we think there's magic sauce, right? Like I used to say, you put on here, you know, social media or something that's like a magic sauce people are looking for, you'll have 101 people show up on the mastermind. You put on what Tom did, or all the times I'm pouring my heart out on Wednesday, what do you get? You get 40, 50 people. You got to quit looking for the magic sauce. Now, Tom, if you don't mind, I'm going to do a little, just share screen here, and I want to show you this.
No, absolutely. Go ahead,
Yeah.
my friend.
Look, I'm asking you, I'm begging you, you want to learn how to see, hang out in the Mind Body Mastermind. Okay. The Mind Body Mastermind, I tell you, I just put it in the chat box. I'm doing this 40-day challenge that gets kicked off tomorrow. You want to break through in your life? Follow me for 40 days. I'm going to teach you how to see versus know, because I don't know a effing thing. I don't want to know. I just want to see. That's what A Course in Miracles teaches. I don't want to know anymore. Knowing is what gets us in trouble. Knowing is what gets you into divorce. Knowing is what gets you to lose money. Knowing is what holds you back. You think you need to know something. You got to see how big you really are. Really, really are. And that's our biggest challenge is that we deny our essence. We deny who we really are. We deny who God has created us to be. And this is going to be 7 minutes a day. You know, the 75-day hard challenge. Join this group, Mind Body Master. It's a 40-day soft challenge. Listen to my 7-minute pitch this morning. You want to do this because this is all about stop denying your essence. Folks, you know, Ryan did say something yesterday that was pretty interesting that I talk about all the time, your future self. He said, you better fall in love with who you are today, because 10 years from the day, you're going to look back wishing that you were in love with that person, because you're not going to like who you are 10 years from now. You're not going to like the way you look compared to 10 today. You're not going to like the way, a lot of times, you know, 10 years is a lot, maybe the way you feel. So you've got to really take your days. And he's all about ROI, everything he does. And he said one of his greatest challenges was always making sure he got, you know, the most out of every given moment. There's a quote, you know, I must do the most productive thing at every given moment, right? And then the other thing is, if we got to quit living the past, the future, you got to live hour by hour by hour. You know, minute by minute, the present moment, but don't take 1 hour into the next hour. Don't take 1 hour in the next hour. So stop focusing on knowing, focus on seeing, focus on a vision for your life, your family's life, and stop the craziness, that left brain, that parent brain, and live in your soul. Soulful selling, soulful living. That's the key. Okay. Green and growing, or ripe and rotten. And a lot of you think you're not successful at all. You think that that's a little bit humble. Folks, being poor is not a part of being humble, right? You know, a lot of times poor, the ego feeds on that, right? It's the scarcity mentality. So Anyway, I love you guys. Tom, love you, man. Just let's keep doing this. This is what it's all about. Salvation. Salvation is not about another life. It's not about eternity. Salvation is about us saving each other here while we're here. You know, saving us from poverty, saving us from that crazy mindset of we're not enough. That we're not good enough, and search for significance. That's the two diseases you're haunted by. I'm still haunted by, but every day I just play in the sandbox, and I know that, you know, we've already won. We've already won. We just got to claim it, right? Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Fred. Hey, Brian, 1 second, bud. So in the slides, guys, I think it was day 2 or day 3. It was day 2, I believe. Elena Cardone got up and spoke, which is pretty awesome. By the way, she was a very poor lady in New Orleans, right? Yeah, she married Grant Cardone, but you know what? She was in tears on stage because they were broke in 2007 and 8. They lost everything. And you want to talk about having money, you got more expenses. Imagine going broke and having huge expenses. She's a huge asset to the success of that whole organization. So when you look at her slides, there's one slide. She has a free conference that she's doing. It's something about lady leaders or something like that there. It's free. And here's what she said. Yes, it says ladies or what successful women, whatever. She says, but bring your spouses and men, you go too. It's free. You have to pay for your way to get down there, but the 2-day event is absolutely free. Free. So if you guys are wanting to show up to meet successful people, this is free. You might have to pay for a hotel so close by. You don't have to pay for the hotel room. That's the most expensive. But guys, go ahead and if you can make it there, I think it's in October or something like that there. And it's in Miami, I believe. So it's free. Brian, how you doing, bud?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Awesome. No, really quick. Appreciate everything, all the words of wisdom that you guys really were able to provide today. One of my favorite quotes: "Don't be upset from the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do." When it comes to owning a business, right? Like you're gonna see a lot of people around you, right? Those people that are winning, they've implemented a plan. This wasn't their first trial and error, right? There's a lot of things in the back end that they really put in to get that success. And everybody's success is going to be different. You also got to understand, right? You're going to go through a lot of struggles. You're going to go through a lot of what you think good days, bad days, right? Every day, there's always one good thing that happens. There's always one good thing that you learn that's going to push you to that next stage to restart and reorganize yourself. And I think that's another piece, right? Plan. Put it in your calendar. Throw it in there. Schedule time out there. Like if it's a money-making activity, right? Whatever it is that you're doing, how important is that? We also have personal time aside, right? And you've got to, when you plan and you schedule it on your calendar, it's crazy how much more you accomplish because you put it in your face. You're getting a reminder on your phone, you're getting a reminder on your Apple Watch, you're getting a reminder on your computer, right? We have technology and we use it to our best of our abilities. And then just have fun, like social media, like if you're in a, doing a tour, whatever it is, it's crazy how like just free marketing, just, posting that home that you were in or whatever, just to build more leads, but always having that conversation. So when it's something that you love, it doesn't feel like work. And everybody that you touch and the business that you're in are just going to be, oh, wow, you know what? When I think of real estate, I think of Brian, or when I think of real estate, I think of Liz, right? Because that's something that they see the passion behind. It's very authentic and it's very you. But one of the biggest things I learned in this business is yesterday was ask Liz, right? It was a very, very tough day for me, but my night didn't finish that way. So, there's 24 hours in a day. It's not how you start, it's how you finish and what you're going to do the next day to even get better and grow from that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing, Brian. That's awesome. You know what? Here's the thing. We want all the luxuries of life, but we don't want to work for them. We just want to look at everybody else and say, well, listen, they started somewhere, right? Do the work now and the results pay off. You want to be paid like a professional athlete? Do the darn work that they do on the off season. They work their tails off. Yeah, Tom Brady. Oh yeah, Michael Jordan. Yeah, they're wealthy because that's who they are. But do you know what they went through to get to where they are? What are the sacrifices that they had to make? Sacrifices. What were the standards they were not willing to break to get where they are today? So the standards and the sacrifices. And are you willing to have standards and sacrifices? So you have to sacrifice something to get where you want to go. Curtis, how you doing down there, bud? I see you. Thank you guys for all that participated. Here's the thing. I've seen several of you register for the class on Tuesday. Share it off with some of your friends that are not with us. Share it off with other agents that are with us. Get on these trainings, get onto Workplace. There's so much training and opportunity out there for you. Take advantage of everything that's there. You have 9 minutes and then I'm out. Oh, I want to share one more thing. So every speaker that's making $4 or $5 million a year, right? So you're making $4 million a year, you make a cold call and the person's mad and nasty to you, you know. Here's the thing, it happens to them too. It's happening, it happens to everyone. We just got to keep moving. Think of this. You're in the business to help a buyer and a seller achieve a goal, correct? So if you were making phone calls to give money away for free, would that be easier to make a cold call than asking for business to earn money? Right? Curtis Johnson did a demonstration. He was up on stage and he talked about his mindset is I'm giving $10,000 to every person I make a phone call to that I'm going to represent. He goes, because that's what I'm either going to save the buyer or I'm going to help the seller earn. He pulled out $10,000 and he said, who here wants to help someone and give them $10,000? And he threw that at someone and he stayed silent. He didn't say anything. And the person said, he said to them, who are you going to give that to? Think of the most toughest, boldest person that you should be calling. He goes, I'm going to call this. He goes, by the way, that's fake money. So you already got motivated to do it. So make the call. Think of what are you giving? What's the financial gift you are giving them by calling them to represent them? See, we know for sale by owners lose money and we can help them make more money, correct? Is that a thing? Then why the heck are we calling them saying, I want to put more money in your pocket. Are you open to this conversation? Oh, you don't want to make more money? You want to make less? Oh, I don't want to pay a commission. What if I showed you a way where you're not paying a commission? Just get in front of them. You get a net sheet. You show them what they're going to net. They'll say, yes, by the way, this is what I'm going to earn. Are you okay with that? Yeah. You just have to be more aggressive. You have to change the conversation. You have to get in front of them. And if they yell at you, swear at you and everything else, call them the next day. They won't even remember who you were. Todd.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How
All right.
are you?
Yeah. So I'm very, very good. Just one thing I got out of it. Show up even if you screw up. And I'll use an example. Use an example of making dials. And I've calling for sell by owner. I had to change some things up. I said, hey, would you like a free market report? Would you like home valuation? Would you like a safety sheet? And just going through that and making calls. And finally somebody said yes. And I was freaked out because I had to put that together for them. And it looked terrible. I thought it looked terrible. I still sent it to them because it took so long for me to put it together. Well, after a while, making more and more dials, I started getting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 more people wanted that piece of information. And so it got easier and easier and the process got better. And even though there was like 15 people in between that said, don't ever call me again. So I decided to call them the next day. Anyway, to show up, even if you screw up, when someone says yes, sometimes like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And you do it and it doesn't feel quite right, but you still get it out there. Just show up, even if you screw up, because you're going to screw up less and less and less and less and less.
That's great, Todd. Thank you for that. You know, the thing is, if you follow scripts, you know, I know Ricky Carruth has scripts, they work. Tom Ferry has scripts, they work. Mike Ferry has scripts, they work. I know hundreds of brand new agents who have scripts and they don't work. Stop trying to make up a script. Stop listening to another person who's not. If someone says to you, hey, this is what I do, say, well, listen, how many listings have you taken this year from these for sale by owners? Don't listen to them. Listen, I have a proven track record. Have I taken any for sale by owners in the last 18 months, 2 years? No, because I don't do that anymore. That's not what I do. Have I taken 30, 40, 50 listings a year from for sale by owners and expireds? Absolutely, 100%. I can show my past sales. I can show mine. And I can tell you, I actually have written sheets. I still have all my sheets, my tracking sheets. When we used to write it, I used to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how we did it then. Anyway. All right. Anyone else? Deb?
Just a quick tip, Tom. You know, we all believe in scripts because scripts are a powerful way to say something. And we believe in them because there is a sales cadence, right? When you have someone that's resistant, that doesn't want to work with you, there are better ways to help them move along and choose to work with you. And for people who say they don't like scripts, then stop going to movies, because every single movie you go to is a script. But the actor delivers it in a way, they internalize it such that you believe the word. By the way, do you think that the words that an actor says on camera sounds like the actor in real life? Of course not. Now, I'm not saying be an actor, but I'm saying say it often enough so that it sounds like you. Scripts are only difficult in the beginning. 30 days of practicing scripts, they're no longer difficult because now they sound like you. But here's the thing. They sound like you because you've said it. The agents that used to work for me say, Debbie, I can hear you in my head. They weren't hearing me though. They were hearing me reiterate the scripts over and over again. And all of a sudden they said, I would hear your words. Now they're not my words, they're scripts. They would say, I would hear your words come out of your mouth. And I would say, wow. That just tumbled right out. That just sounded like me. And I didn't realize until after I said it, that those aren't usually words that I would put together. But if the most successful agents use scripts, then that's your job. Now, here's the other thing. When I'm helping people get good at scripts, here's what I suggest you do. Practice, 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 and then turn the paper over and go help people. Now, after the conversation, you go back to the script and say, where did I do well? Where did I not do well? You know what that's called? That's called script practice, right? When they do the readings, when they're practicing for a play or for a movie, they have the script in front of them and they're practicing saying the words because they're learning to feel what it feels like. So practice your for sale by owner scripts in the car. Leave the scripts in the car, go in and talk to them, come back out, look at the script and say, oh, I did this well. Oh, I kind of forgot that middle part there. That's the way you practice it in private, and then you go help people from your heart in real life. Then you go back and you reflect and say, what did I do well? What could I do better? That's the way you do it. When you're actually having a conversation, don't think about doing the script, just help them. Ask them what their problems are, help them, do what you can to remember the script, and then go back and review what you did well. And that's the way you get better. You don't get better playing golf by just, every time you go out on the golf course, you're practicing your shots and you're getting better and better. Now, if you really want to get better, you'll go to the range in between. And you won't just do your practice live. You will do some practice on the range. Scripts are the same way. Don't think you have to know them all before you have a conversation, and don't judge yourself for doing them poorly at the beginning. That it's practice. So you practice in your home, you practice with a script partner, and then go out and help people to the best of your ability, and then reflect, and then practice, and then go help people. You don't have to be an expert today. You just have to start today. You just have to start.
That's awesome. So I'm gonna share my screen with you guys real quick. All right, you see this guy? He's a good friend of mine. He's a movie director, right? How would you like me to get him on a call with us on how to master scripts? These are his movies. These are the movies he directed. These are the movies he wrote the scripts for. By the way, he lives in Atlanta now, and that was a nice referral fee when he sold his home in Los Angeles and moved to Atlanta. He's a really good friend of mine. He's just finished a movie, so he's got plenty of time on his hands, and he'll do anything for me. By the way, he worked for me. He said, I said to him one day, I said, what's your dream, Mike? He goes, because he was an artist. He goes, I want to be a movie director. I'm like, holy cow, I didn't know that. I thought you were an artist. He goes, yeah, I still want to, my passion is to be a movie director. I said, why are you here being a bartender for me? Why don't you go out to LA and make it happen? He goes, it's kind of scary. I said, well, you got to start somewhere. He came back the next day and he said he was moving in a week. By the way, his journey was not easy. He was told no. He was told no. He started doing setups for stages. No, you're not good enough. No, no, no. He kept going. He kept showing up. He got in front of the Wayans brothers time in and time out, you know, and as soon as he got in with them and started making them laugh, he goes, Tom, I had to find a way to connect with them. I had them laughing. Instead of me laughing at them, they were laughing at me, whatever I was saying. That was the door opener. He showed up, and the results come at the end. So when you were saying scripts, I'm like, I've been meaning to get Mike on a call. How? By the way, he interviewed Tom Cruise to do one of the movies and said no because he was too short. It just wouldn't fit with the female that was going to be in the movie. It probably would have made the movie more money, but he said it just wasn't a match. So, and anyways, it just went that way. But mastering the script, see, these celebrities master scripts and they make millions. Realtors that master their craft make millions. This is no different. So Deb, that I know it has, you know, the movie industry has nothing to do with the real estate industry, but maybe the journey of persistence and pursuing a you know, the dream would be, you know, it was pretty cool too when I watched whatever it was and he walked the red carpet with his wife. I'm like, I know that guy. So all right, I'll get him on a Friday call. I don't know exactly when, but I'm going to reach out to him as soon as we're done. I'm going to take action.
You do it. Same way you made me reach out to Elizabeth Riley for our calls.
And by the way, you want to be in front of top talent like an Elizabeth Riley? Get on eXp Family Tree. Get on eXp Family Tree. Another lady, I love women that are highly successful. I really do. I want to learn from them because they're strong and they can connect way better than men sometimes, or most of the time. Her name's Michelle Wilson. She's 39 years old. She used to have the largest real estate independent brokerage in Washington, and then you know, separated from her partner, and then you know, her business partner, and then came to eXp. And she, you know, she's a coach, but pull her up. She's extremely talented and knowledgeable, and she's got a journey too. What didn't come easy, you know. So everyone has a journey of failure. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. Share off that link. It's on our Facebook page. Look at those slides if you want to join the eXp Family Tree. And I wish everyone great success. Brian, is he still on here? Yeah, there he is. Welcome aboard, bud. Are you on board yet? Yeah, okay. I didn't see it come through the system. Maybe I missed it. I didn't see it come through the system yet.